Welcome to our Rethink Play Chats. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Tamara. And today we're going to talk about emotional playgrounds. What are they? Why do we need them?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny, a funny word maybe. Emotional playgrounds is a word people might be like, what do you mean? Do you mean literally a playground? What is an emotional playground really?
Yeah. Well, and I think before we can actually even look at what that is to back it up a bit and talk about what do we mean when we say emotion? Yeah. What are we talking about as opposed to feeling? And often we can talk about emotion and feeling interchangeably, right? Mm-hmm. But if we tease them apart, emotion is about something that is stirred up in us and we're not necessarily conscious of it. We're not necessarily aware. And so it's something that's stirred up and needs somewhere to go. It needs to move somewhere, right?
It's like this emotion versus feeling, like what you're saying. So emotion is this involuntary thing that just comes into our systems. We all have it. It's seeping in. We're emotional beings. Whereas feeling is the conscious feedback, the awareness of the emotion that's being stirred up inside. Mm-hmm. And I guess then when we look at emotional playgrounds, it's this idea that kind of like whereas a playground, we think of something you go, the swings, the slide you go to play with. It's a place for our feelings, as you said, to move. Our feelings to play,
or our emotions to move so that we can feel them.
Yeah, exactly. Right? That's actually a better way of putting it. So our emotions move so therefore they become feelings.
Yeah, so that we can actually have some consciousness of them because we're
aware of them.
We often don't. I mean, I don't know if you've had this happen to you, where all of a sudden you feel yourself just stirred by something. You just had no idea until you watched it in a movie or you're listening to music.
No, it happens to me all the time. Often even when I'm driving in the car and I'm not aware of feeling anything, and then I put on a certain piece of music. I don't know, some Sarah McLachlan piece might come on, or I don't even just something even that might hit me from my childhood or something, anything. And
the rodeo for me.
Yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden I'm moved to tears, or I'm just welled up, or the opposite, or I'm singing really loudly. Like whatever it is, it's this
allows for something to move.
Something is moving within me, and so so emotional playgrounds, these places where whether it's music or dance or
drama,
stories, it's these indirect or like outlets, these indirect ways that sort of are sensorial. They hit something within us very gently and make the emotion, maybe makes the wrong word, it's too forceful, but awaken, allows a better word, allow emotion to be felt, allow emotion to be expressed,
touched on.
Yes,
that might be kind of really hard thing to touch on, but
without
it allows
it being direct,
us to
like
touch
words,
on it.
Without me saying, how are you feeling today, Tamara?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's more just that the feelings come.
Yeah. Because there's space for it, and because there's something that, I think there's something that resonates too. I think of art as another emotional playground, and it can be. All of these things can be because it touches on something that we may not have words for.
That's right, because there's so much of, and we're trying to attach language to something that's it's abstract. It's fuzzy. And so that's probably why we go to the arts. That's why we go to nature, because they can hold things that aren't linear, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so these emotional
in a way that's bearable.
That's right. That's right. And in a way that gives us a container. Yeah. It gives a container, it holds a space to both awaken, but also to move in safe ways. Yeah. To move in safe ways. Yeah.
Yeah, that safety piece is really key, because I think sometimes if we do go too directly, it cannot feel safe, or it feels like too much, or we're not ready to go places.
It can feel overly vulnerable.
Yeah. So it's that idea of creating the kind of spaces where we can make something move. Oh, and I remember there's something else I wanted to say about that. Is I think what can happen is we can make what's meant to come out and play, we can make it work. We talked about that before, but when it comes to emotional playgrounds, if you have music and you have to, if it's about performance, for example, we can lose that as an emotional playground. It can become something else. And that doesn't mean that music can't maybe be for us both, where we perform sometimes, but in other times where you just have room to experiment, to just let things move.
That's what the thing is with play, is that there's always room for, it's how it's entered into. And that's why emotional playgrounds work. It's the energy with which it's entered, the freedom, the engagement, the naturalness of it. There may or may not be a product, but that's not the point. Isn't the product. This is in play. No. You might play and you may end up building something out of your Play-Doh, but that wasn't the point of it. The point is that you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And the point is that,
and maybe even you didn't enjoy it, but you were engaged in it, and there was something really that
exactly. I was thinking
came out with it.
And that's the same with emotional playgrounds.
Yeah.
And so so this, I'm kind of excited to kind of step into this next little bit of
pack it a bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I sort of kind of walk through all the different ways that we can use the various ways that we can use to awaken emotion, to move it, and to hold it. Yeah. All right. So if you are interested in watching more of our videos where we talk all about different aspects of play, you can head to rethinkplayproject.com and check them out there.
See you next time.
Bye.